The psychological games have already begun.
Daniel was going here, he was slipping it laterally, he wasn't going here. And also
You're
such
a little bit, Shane.
No, I'm not.
Mate, he just cracked me twice on the ribs.
If he can weather the storm in the first 4 rounds, the fight is all Daniel Dubois.
As soon as he finds that range, boom, he throws the right hand through the middle. Joshua's an overthinker in many ways, and we know that. And sometimes
asking everybody, isn't
absolutely.
It's a dangerous game.
Joshua punches with him.
Stay
Get in there.
boom, boom, boom.
And then go with it.
Whoa. This is good, guys. Yes, we like it. Hello there and welcome along to the preview, Joshua against Dubois. With me, Adam Smith, former European super bantamweight champion, Spencer the Omen Oliver, and elite boxing trainer Shane McGuigan. It's great to see the pair of you. Live on TalkSport, September the 21st, a fight we cannot wait for. Joshua and Dubois, IBF heavyweight title. It's a fascinating one.
Absolutely. Listen, we don't often get these sort of fights coming around. Two British guys going head-to-head at Wembley Stadium with a over-capacity crowd of 94,000. Yeah, can't wait for this.
You've been with Daniel Dubois a long time. Now he's with Don Charles, so you know him better than most. But up against Anthony Joshua, who's trying to become a 3-time heavyweight champion and join the history books. It's got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you got youth versus experience, and I think they're both on fantastic form. Daniel's resurrected his career after getting stopped by Usyk, and he just tore through Hrgovic in that last fight. He was down on the cards, but showed the resilience that was always in question with Daniel after the Joyce fight.
Took a lot of right hands, but then he came through it, and what a performance to sort of break Hrgovic's heart.
Yeah, he broke him down, and he did exactly what people were expecting Hrgovic to do to him. So overcame a lot of demons there, and AJ's on fine form as well. He's knocked out Wallin and then obviously put Ngannou out as well in a fantastic fashion. So they're both on great form.
Yeah, rejuvenated Joshua. What a world Turki Al-Sheikh has put on. He's transformed boxing Riyadh season at Wembley. 96,000, I think they're going to try and squeeze in. And it's also Liam Gallagher as well. We've all the words about Oasis, the reunions, reunited, Liam on the big stage. Who deals with it better? AJ is a veteran, I guess, at Wembley and at the Principality. Dubois been out in Poland, but this is his biggest stage.
Absolutely. Listen, that's the million-dollar question. How does Daniel Dubois deal with this occasion, this situation? I mean, Anthony Joshua's been there, seen it, done it. He feeds off that, actually. I mean, one of his most memorable nights when he beat Klitschko at Wembley Stadium, and he needed that crowd. He had to feed off that crowd to pull him through some torrid times in that fight, the 5th round, the 7th round. He had some tough moments in there. The crowd played a huge part on that. Does Daniel feed off that, or does he freeze in front of it? And I think that is the million-dollar question.
Epic night, that AJ Klitschko back in April 2017. Seems a long time ago, doesn't it? 2024, and not just the main event, but what hors d'oeuvres we have as well. A fantastic lineup of so-called undercard fights, Shane, but every one of those could top a fight night here.
Exactly. I mean, you've got Liam Smith versus Josh Kelly. You've got Joshua Buatsi versus Hutchinson. Hamza Shiraz versus Tyler Denny, who's on fine form as well. So, and Kakachi's just coming off of a fantastic win against Cordina. I used to work with Anthony Kakachi. He's a real tremendous puncher.
What are you thinking there? It's a really good one, isn't it?
I mean, how much does Josh Warrington got left? I think 2 or 3 years ago, I think his fitness and his resilience would have played a massive part in the fight. But I think ever since he's been hit and hurt and stopped a few times, it's just Kakachi's a world-class puncher, and I just can see him walking on today.
I saw Josh the other week. He's in phenomenal shape. Warrington, that is. Kelly's on the bill against Liam Smith. What for you quickly stands out before we get to the big one?
Listen, I like Hamza Shiraz versus Tyler Denny, of course, but Willie Hutchinson, I think, and Buatsi, I think that's the one that sort of catches my eye, because Willie Hutchinson has come out of nowhere. Joshua Buatsi's been knocking on that door, looking for that world title shot. Now he's got the real acid test against Hutchinson, who really fancies this fight as well. I mean, you go through that card there and you look at the fights and you go, real 50-50s would top a bill anywhere, in any part of the globe, actually. You look at those fighters there. So you know, we're being spoiled as boxing fans on the 21st.
Just going to stay with you for a moment, Spence. You've known AJ since the very beginning. Both him and Dubois have had a fantastic last 12 months. They've sort of reinvented themselves a little bit. How are you liking AJ with Ben Davison, this combination, Otto Wallin, then the demolition of Ngannou? Do you like the chemistry there?
Absolutely. Listen, I think with Anthony Joshua, it is all about believing in himself. Inactivity played a big part in that, you know, and there was no self-confidence. And I think since he's been active, the change of trainer with Ben Davison, I mean, Shane would tell you, when a fighter finds the right trainer and you gel and the chemistry is there, then that improves in the performance, because with Anthony Joshua, he's meticulous in what he does. Ben Davison's meticulous in breaking fights down and working on stuff. If Anthony Joshua's left no stone unturned and he's going into a fight, he's been active, trust me, he's back at his best. And the last 4 performances, he showed that he's slowly... It's been a character-building journey for him, that is for sure. But I believe that he's probably in the form of his life right now, going in there with the confidence that he needs.
But is Daniel Dubois full of confidence too? Just turned 27 off that Hrgovic result. You had him for a long period as well. You almost saved him against Kevin Lerena when he had that terrible start. He's had his downs, hasn't he? But he looks now to be gathering real momentum at the right time.
Definitely. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete. They both are probably the 2 best athletes in the division. You know, if you can put them to any other sports, they both could be able to sprint and cross-train and all that sort of stuff. So they both generate a lot of power, but they're both taught boxers. So this is one thing, and we're talking about Ben Davison. He's teaching and he's implementing things. Is it an instinct? Tyson Fury is an instinct fighter. Daniel Dubois is also a taught fighter as well. So he works well off landing his jab and then building off that jab, and both of them do. So it's fascinating. But I think Dan's in great form, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that if he can weather an early storm, it's game on for him.
Well, let's do something very different right here on TalkSport in the studio. Innovative. We're going to find out the attributes, the weapons, go through the arsenal of both fighters, but you two are going to get the gloves on and really show us how it's done. The jab, the right hand, the combinations, the space, the distance, all the things that can win and lose this key IBF heavyweight title fight. It's up to the screen, isn't it, Spencer?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, let's go and let's start with the jab, Shane, because the jab is where the fight can be won, lost, controlled in many ways. Now, I'll start with Anthony Joshua and say how his jab has changed over time. You know, in the early days, we'd see him and he used to step in with that jab. And by stepping in with the jab and committing himself a lot, he used to put himself in some sticky areas and that could get himself into trouble a lot. But he's changed that jab now and it's become more of a defensive mechanism, and that sort of sets the trap for the big right hands that are thrown. I mean, Daniel Dubois, on the other hand, he uses that jab as a weapon still, doesn't he?
I mean, Daniel's probably his best shot is his jab. You know, in terms of generating that power, he's quite square on with his stance. You can see him against Hrgovic. That's why he was getting caught with a lot of jab and right hands. He's walking into them straight shots because he's right in front of his opponent and he's trying to slip the jab, but then also the right hand's coming straight down the pipe on that. But with that, he really rams that jab home, and his left hook to the body is a great shot. His left hook to the head is a great shot. 2 things that AJ is very open for.
But Shane, you've got to get that jab working straight away, because Usyk took it away from AJ, didn't he, in that first fight at Tottenham?
Yeah, so Usyk took it away by backing Daniel up. So he backed him up, feinting, taking aside, dropping back, and he was constantly changing the range, Adam. Whereas Daniel, in his last fight, was getting backed up early, but then he started to establish a double jab. He was falling short on the first jab, the second jab started to land. Once he landed that second jab, the right hand came over the top, the left hook came either to the body or to the head, and that's when you saw him pretty quickly break down Hrgovic. Once he was able to land that double jab, the fight completely swayed.
I can hear the power when you do that. I want to see you get the gloves on. Come on. Time to get the gloves on and get serious, boys. Guys, you're all laced up, ready to go. Touch gloves. And Spencer, tell us about AJ's jab.
Well, listen, so AJ's jab used to be more effective. He used to step in with a shot, and he used to use that as a weapon, as an attacking weapon. But by doing that, Shane, when he used to step in, he used to leave himself open to especially that left hook, and that was where the vulnerability was.
Now, the right hand over the top as he goes there.
Absolutely, he used to go here. But he'd leave himself open. But now what Anthony Joshua does is he punches to the target and not through it. So he goes here, and he's doing that to set up that jab.
Yeah.
And now...
Raise the right hand.
Yeah, and he goes there, and as he goes, the right hand comes through.
So as as he's pulling that jab out, it's very hard to slip it for Daniel. Is he going to go back, throw that jab at me? Is he going to go back? But then that's doubling the distance, and he's got to really work hard, and AJ's quick on the pull counter. So
Can he establish his jab first, though, Dubois? Is that really important?
He's got a jab with him, hasn't he? So
as Anthony Joshua's punching, so Joshua's here, he's using this, like I say, he's using this defensively, because what he's trying to do is draw the lead of Daniel Dubois. He knows Daniel comes in, and as he comes in,
boom,
there he's there for the right hand.
And then something comes off the back of that. That's what I'm saying. He's quick on the pull counter because he's jabbing to pull throw there, like he did against Ngannou. He just pulled back straight right hand. Now, he also did it against Charles Martin early on in his career.
Yeah.
But you know, Daniel, as I said, Daniel against Hrgović is a prime example. When Hrgović was throwing that jab, he does the same thing. He flicks that jab, and Daniel was going here. He was slipping it laterally, he wasn't going here. Once you go here, you can then get your combinations off, which we're going to talk about later on. But the jab going here, he was going side, getting caught, pinned with a jab. Then the right hand comes straight down the pipe. That's where he was getting eating right hands against Hrgović. And I think one of the most important things is Daniel, he can't step back, because if he steps back, he's doubling the distance, and he's got to really work hard to get that jab off. So he has to jab
Shane,
with
is it fair to say that this jab, whoever establishes the jab first and gets into any sort of rhythm will take control of the fight early?
And that's it. AJ got into a rhythm, didn't he, against Otto Bodin? But what did Andy Ruiz did? He hit the body shots because of the left hook. So it's key about AJ's jab in this, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And especially if he tires.
And Daniel, if he's pouring that jab, if I come back with a single jab, he pulls counter, he pulls, and then he counters that right hand.
Yes.
So Daniel has to double the jab up. That's the most important thing for Daniel. If he pulls that jab, boom, boom, then the right hand pull is not there. He can land that, he can go there afterwards.
And he can get his right and left
really
hook to the
important.
body. That's key. That's the jab. Leads the right hand. Obviously, AJ's massive crushing shot. So many power punches. Let's get to the attributes on the right hand. Back to the screen, Spencer. Key for both of them. Huge knockout punches.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Shane, let's talk about that right hand. Daniel Dubois, obviously so effective. You look through the showreel knockouts that he's got. Every one of his opponents he knocks out with a right hand. But I want to talk about Anthony Joshua's right hand. Like I say, we've just come off the jab. Joshua's now adapted his style where he used to commit with that jab and go through and leave himself in range to get shots, get hit with shots. Now he holds his ground, he taps with that. And when he finds the range with that jab, he drills the right hand through and he throws it beautifully sharp straight down the middle.
Yeah.
I think the rebuilding for Anthony Joshua and where he's regained that confidence was obviously the Helenius fight. You know, we saw him against Jermaine Franklin, and the confidence wasn't still there. He was holding his feet, he's throwing the shots, not committing with his right hand. Against Helenius, we go round 1, round 2, round 3. We see nothing.
Yeah.
Joshua's still doing it. The first time he steps in, drills that right hand.
Game over.
Pulls the trigger.
knockout shot.
Practice with Ben Davison for the Ngannou fight. Practice. I want to go to Dubois here, Shane. Look, he's got a huge right hand too. Massive power.
Oh, his right hand's phenomenal. I mean, but it is shorter. The AJ throws a right hand from a lot longer. So Daniel, as I said, you know, the most important thing, Daniel gets confidence in his right hand. Once say he's going here, he goes here, and he throws it short because he's throwing it, which we're going to talk about later on, is that he's a combination puncher. He's going here, here. If you watch against Bogdan Danu, he sort of misses, you step off to the left, he scoops that, and then as he gets on the ropes, he goes boom.
He's through the middle.
That's when he pins him and squares him up with the right hand.
So for Daniel, the right hand is more to set up the combination punches. AJ for a clean knockout.
So for Daniel, what Shane is saying is Daniel likes throwing the punches when he's inside and he likes throwing them short.
Yeah.
Now for Anthony Joshua, as I've said with the jab, we've gone off that jab, he's found the range with a jab, he's found the range, and as soon as he finds that range, boom, he throws the right hand through the middle. And he goes there, boom, he goes through the middle. That is the shot.
Yeah.
And I think that is the shot that Anthony Joshua is going to be looking for.
Does Dubois get up from a clean right hand like that?
I don't know, but he throws less right hands than someone like Filip Hrgović, but he's way more accurate, and the right hands.
Has Ben Davison changed that, Shane?
I think he's accurate. Accuracy, yes. I think it is also his confidence in punching through the target. You know, as Spencer said, he doesn't punch through the target on the jab, but he really lets the right hand go, and that is such a devastating shot. Daniel can't get hit with it. He's got to figure out what side he takes, because if he's trying to slip the jab to go there, he's walking straight into the right hand.
shot.
Now, can he roll underneath it? So a jab, then throw the right hand, As he throws the right hand, throw the right hand after.
So if he rolls underneath it, he puts himself in position for that trademark left hook to the body or the head.
Yeah.
That's where Joshua's vulnerabilities have been in the past. When we saw it against Andy Ruiz, when he was there, we saw it even earlier.
When he's in the fire, AJ, he can be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Definitely, because
even earlier against Dillian White.
He drops his right hand when he throws a jab. So when AJ throws a jab, he sort of separates it to really get it to travel, right? But the thing about that is that's why he's always, when he gets brave and he hurts somebody, he goes in like this, he drops his right hand. Dillian White, fantastic left hook comes off there, throws a left hook in the middle of the combination, throw the left hook.
Left hook, yeah.
Boom, right? When he was going in for the finish, same
Andy
thing.
Ruiz to body and to head.
Same thing with Ruiz.
Yep.
He kind of tried to throw the uppercut, his head came up, he traded left hooks. Andy Ruiz met on the inside with a short left hook.
But let's talk about that jab that Daniel throws, right? So when Daniel throws that jab and even doubles up on that jab, as I've said now with Anthony Joshua, he's holding his range, he's tapping it out. As Daniel steps in, Joshua steps back and he drives a shot through the middle. So let's go through that again. As Daniel comes in, Joshua steps back and drives.
Yeah.
And that's where he's effective. I mean, you've got to look at Francis Ngannou last time out, the way that he set that up.
Yeah.
And you look at the feet, the way he threw that right hand, he was waiting for Ngannou to come in, steps back and ping through the middle.
He actually went southpur, and one thing Daniel
did.
Dubois
I
has not
noticed
let
that.
do is go southpaw. But you know, the thing is where does he go off that jab? If say Spencer's throwing a couple of flicky jabs at me, do I go inside here and then go throw the right hand, go down there to go there, or does he go down this side, throw the right hand? Throw the right hand afterwards, throw underneath there. But all of the most important thing is it's a dangerous game. You got to slip in, you can't slip laterally, you got to slip in, you got to roll your way in to get your combinations off. And it's just how does he do that against someone that's so athletic with his feet in Andy Joshua and also
You're
such
puffing a little bit, Shane. Come on.
I'm not.
He's not pumping. That's me, mate. He just cracked me twice on the ribs.
Got you on the ribs. Come on, right, we're going to break it up just like, because I'm interested in
let's go now.
These combination punches, guys. You were talking about that, where Daniel gets inside. Go back to the board, Spencer, right? Because the combination punches could come into this, especially those rounds 3, 4, 5, when the fighters are established, OK? Where's AJ there at that point of the fight? If, say, that jackhammer right hasn't worked.
Well, this is where AJ now has rebuilt as a fighter, and he's got that confidence back. And with the confidence, you have that ability to throw not just a jab, not just a 1-2, but do what you would do when you was effective. Like when you took Klitschko out and you was there, and you put your shots together. Like when you knocked Dillian White out in that round 7, when he went there and he realised he hurt Dillian White and he jumped on him. But it was about combination punching. He's so dangerous with the uppercut as well. Trademark shot. Klitschko, he caught him with it. Dillian White, he knocked him spark out with that as well. What I'm saying is Anthony Joshua is most effective when he gets those combinations going. And I believe, Shane, with the confidence that he's got now with the new trainer, the run of form
wins.
and everything else, he's back to where he was.
He's huffing and puffing a bit. Boys, back in the middle. I want to see these combination punches that Daniel throws because that's a key part of his game. That's how he really broke Hrgovic.
Well, this is where Daniel's most dangerous, right? When he gets up close, personal, and lets those shots go. And that is the danger zone for Anthony Joshua. So if you go through...
Daniel doesn't need to try to punch hard. He's just so naturally heavy-handed. So most important thing...
And you felt that on the pads.
Oh, massively. I mean, he's one of the most phenomenal punchers I've ever taken on the pads, and I've worked with David Haye as well. So, but the thing is it's ring generalship. Like when he was able to double the jab up, boom, boom.
Now he's inside.
Then he can throw there. Then he can throw there. He can go here. He can bring it up well. But by doing that...
I'll show them on Spencer. He can take it.
Let's go. So he goes inside. He goes there.
There, he can go down underneath afterwards or there and across.
And so for me, bringing Anthony Joshua into the equation here, when Daniel's punching there, when he does that, we know he has a tendency to carry that left low, and that's where he's vulnerable. And so when you're throwing the combinations, keep letting the shots go. So you're Daniel Dubois, you're throwing the shots, throw the combinations, and Joshua has to go with him. And when Joshua goes with him, that's where he goes. So the combinations are going, Joshua punches with him, and we're getting that. And then go with him.
Whoa. This is good, guys. Yes, we like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right on the inside.
Yeah, so
that's what we had with AJ and Klitschko when they opened up on each other.
But this is the importance of combination punching. Daniel Dubois, we know
Will
he's
it get
doing
there,
it.
Spencer? Will it get there? I don't know if it will get... I think AJ is not gun-shy, but he likes the clean work, and his coach likes the clean work. Now, it's down to someone like Don Charles, who's used to working with Chisora, that has to force the action.
Yep.
Dubois has done that previously in his last 2 fights.
Yep.
So he really has to find that range.
Miller and Hrgovic, and if he survives the first 3 or 4 and he gets into those trenches, Dubois, you believe in him?
I believe in him.
Yeah.
100%, because it's who's the more comfortable throwing the combination
Yeah.
of the last 4 or 5 fights?
Oh, listen, it's Daniel Dubois without a doubt. But here is where I'm at with Anthony Joshua. He has to punch with Daniel, otherwise he's in serious
Show
trouble.
us.
Because, like you say, Joshua likes to keep it long. He likes it there. He likes those straight right hands through the middle. But what Daniel does is he steps in and closes that range and then lets his combinations go. Anthony has to go with him.
Yeah.
And if he don't go with him, he's in trouble. He's got a punch.
Or time
Or
up.
does he get on his feet? Does he get on his feet and box as well, Joshua? That's the other thing. Because I think a key part of this is their defence and the space, the distance over 12 rounds. Back to the screen. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at... Because there are vulnerabilities in Joshua and in Dubois' defence.
Absolutely. Now, in the defence for both guys, for me, Shane, I'm sure you're going to agree with this, but the defence for both guys here is downstairs, the footwork. A lot of people don't realise the importance of the footwork. It gets you in range, it gets you in trouble, and gets you out of trouble. So, you've got to use it at the right times. Anthony Joshua learned from the mistakes of Andy Ruiz. He adjusted. He showed that he's got the ability to move around, stay out of trouble, and take his chance when he has to, trade when he has to. Now, we know that he can move, we know that he can box, and we know that he can fight. He's shown it when he's had to bite down his gum shield. Dillian Whyte, Klitschko, those times where he's had to sit in the pocket.
When was the last time he had to bite down his gum shield?
But this is it. Will you revert to
When was the last time he was fighting at pace for 12 rounds? It was probably Usyk. And even then, it was a reasonably technical, slow pace.
And so, Shane, what I'm saying is that this is the million-dollar question, and what makes this fight so exciting is, does Anthony Joshua revert back to what he knows if he gets himself in trouble when he has to, or if he gets in trouble when he has to? I mean, look, let's talk about Daniel Dubois. You know him better than most. We've seen Anthony Joshua. We know that he's got that footwork. He can manoeuvre. He can get himself in and out. Very athletic. Has Daniel Dubois got it?
Daniel Dubois has got the fantastic footwork when he's on the back foot. Like, you see him, he looked very good against Usyk because he was trying to move, trying to take it an angle. He's very well balanced in his footwork. He set up a little bit too much on the front foot. That's why he rounds up.
Get back out
so
here.
Here we
Let's
go
have a look.
again.
I'm watching the feet now.
The footwork for both guys actually is key to defence. Daniel Dubois is very athletic. He's light on his feet for a very big guy. Anthony Joshua has to be that guy as well. Shane, we've seen him in the past where we've seen him light on his feet, like the people like Ruiz, but we've seen him sort of flat-footed and planting his feet as well. In this fight, I believe he has to be up on his toes. He's got to be prepared to sort of go with Daniel in many ways and manoeuvre a lot, not sit down, don't stay in the pocket, just moving around so you can get off with those jabs. Keep Daniel occupied, keep him busy. I mean, where do you see Daniel Dubois here? Like, we're talking about defence, but let's start with the feet on defence here.
Yeah.
He's got
How
great
important
feet,
is
Shane,
it?
hasn't he, Daniel? Underrated.
Daniel's got great feet. He's got a great balance. He's got a great springing attack. Like, that's why he can boom, 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 boom. He can throw them in nice and quick when he does that. But AJ, the most important thing for AJ is to take this lateral steps, because Daniel, we talk about his jab and how effective his jab is, but say if he steps to the left, that's where Daniel overcommits, as we're talking about earlier on with the jab. And I think just little small adjustments one way and the other. That's what Usyk was doing. He was constantly adjusting and constantly stepping like this all the time. And Daniel was getting a little bit stuck in the mud.
Shane, a question I want to ask you about Daniel. How does he defensively, with his feet, defend against Anthony Joshua? Because if Joshua finds a range with that jab, then he's there. And then he sets off on that big right. And we know that he does that. And say if Anthony Joshua, now he's got that confidence back, goes phase 2 as well. So he's gone here, he goes with the right, then he comes again.
Yeah, exactly.
And he goes again.
So that's...
That was going well there.
That was going really well. And I'm going to throw in...
Just throw it. You can throw it in my pocket if you want.
We all tied it up now? Bit of a malfunction there, Spencer?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We can't have that in the ring. You ready?
So
Gloves
I'll
up,
pick
come
it
on.
up from...
Protect yourself at all times, Spencer, you know
Just
that.
tell me when to go.
Right, ready? Phase 2, AJ, go.
Yeah, so we're talking about, the footwork being the defence here. But Anthony Joshua now, we know, he goes with a jab. When he finds out, he throws that right hand. He goes with the right hand. But what about Shane when he goes phase 2, like he used to? So he goes here with a jab.
Daniel would drop on the first.
Jab, goes there, and then he comes again.
That's when he's going to be getting stuck in the mud. And I think, it's really important for Daniel to go back and then across. There's a great shot. There's a great shot. There's a great shot. So there's angles that he can pick up on that, because he really has to favour his left hook on this. But the footwork is always okay.
It's just always key, because it went wrong for him against Ruiz, didn't it, AJ?
Absolutely. But what I want to highlight here is the importance of the footwork, but not only the footwork, but the lateral movement from Daniel, because against Filip Hrgović, we never saw that lateral movement.
No.
And he was getting pinged with those right hands.
Not until a few rounds in, he started to go. He was kind of going here, and just throw it down the pipe. That's where he was getting stuck there. But as he started to do it again, he would go across.
Yep.
Or he would go again under.
Or the underneath.
You know what I mean? But he had to press Hrgović.
Yeah.
Because Hrgović is more of a volume puncher, and he's quicker on the counter than AJ. I think he's a little bit more committed. The pace is going to be slightly slower, so that allows him to be a little bit. He can set things up a little bit better, Daniel.
Okay, so we've had jab, we've had right hand, combinations, distance, whatever. It's going to come down to heart at some point, isn't it? Who wants it more? Get in the pocket. What are the fight fans going to see here with these two heavyweights?
But this is the importance of this whole thing now when we're talking about sitting in the pocket. Firstly, both guys have got to be defensively clever, because if Daniel gets caught coming in off that 1-2 and he gets caught, AJ will let the shots go and he'll let them go in combinations.
So he's got a catch counter.
He's a ferocious finisher. But Daniel loves to be up in the pocket, doesn't he? So if AJ's here and he's there, and then Daniel goes with the combinations.
Yeah, exactly. Or even say you go on that second phase, you go, boom, boom.
Back to the second phase.
He's got to throw with him. You know what I mean? Or boom, take his head off the line and throw these big, hard looping shots.
But Daniel does loopings, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So let's go through that again. So I'm coming in, I've gone phase 1. I go, AJ's gone phase 2. Now he's in the pocket.
And he throws them. He's so heavy-handed. He just throws them together as big whipping
head and body. Spencer, put it
shots.
all together for us, the fight, as you see it going. And you, Shane, as well, from Daniel's point of view.
So round 1, we go. Anthony Joshua comes out. Joshua's there. He's looking to try and set the traps, create the openings. He's not committing off that jab. He's there, but Shane, he's being smart with his feet as well. Yeah. He knows Daniel's going to attack, and he knows Daniel's going to go with that jab, and then he's going to come with the right hand.
And is Dubois attacking early, Shane?
He's got to.
Yeah.
He's got to. He's got to make an impression on Daniel.
AJ's drawing in. Daniel goes with that double jab. Then AJ comes with the combinations.
Exactly. He might get stuck in that, but then he's got to fire the right hand off that double jab.
Whilst going with those combinations, he's in the pocket, Shane. And he's there for the shots.
Exactly.
And that left hook that he nearly just broke my rib with, that shot there...
Is it hurting you?
There's a little tingle.
Go on, give him another one.
But that shot there is a trademark shot for Daniel.
Scoops it in lovely.
So let's see that shot again. He's there. AJ's going with the combinations.
Boom. And again, dig it in, Shane, come on.
Boom. Where's the hook? There it is.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom.
That's it, guys. Right, that's it. Physical time over. Enough. Whoa. Well, back to the benches. Come on.
Brilliant.
Gloves off.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, that's
Head guards off. Well done, boys. Well done. Lovely that. There's a little bit of huffing and puffing. Who's that taking more out of?
Listen, definitely me. But Shane's a younger man than me. But you know what? It was good fun, but it was good analysis as well. Shane, we broke it down really well. How the fight can be won and lost from both guys, because that's where we're at here. Not a one-horse race. You know, Anthony Joshua starts a big favourite with the bookies. Don't underestimate Daniel Dubois. He's at that stage of his career right now where he really fancies it.
Just take a breather and just relax.
Thank you.
That's it. So, you look better now. Psychology is crucial in this. You've been right in there with Daniel. The mindset, the massive occasion at Wembley, the pressure on him. I said to Don Charles, is it the fact that he's got nothing to lose? And Don said, he's got everything to lose. He's the IBF heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
How will he take to it on the day and on the night?
The experience obviously lies with AJ. He just thrives off that occasion. And I think one of the things that Daniel has had most of his success when it's been in quieter circumstances. If you look at him against Hrgović, he was out in Riyadh. We were out there. It was a very quiet atmosphere. He was able to hear his corner. He was able to hear his dad really beckon those instructions. Go on, get that double jab out. Come on, press that fight. Come move your head. Constantly giving him the cues. One of the things that Daniel is, he's phenomenal in the gym. We never got the chance to really showcase what he could do behind closed doors. And, I think the only downfall is the fact, how can he respond? How can he listen when there's a raucous crowd, 96,000 people there screaming? Most of them are going to be AJ fans. They want to see him become a 3-time heavyweight world champion. You know,
would you like to be in the corner?
I mean, I wish them all the best. I think Daniel's got a fantastic chance, and I think, you know, that he's found a good fit with Don Charles. Don is a really good father figure to him, and I think he needed that. I think he needs that, you know, that sort of, not so much experience, but just more fatherly figure, that nurturing mentality. And I think, you know, it's interesting, as you said, because of that's a psychological switch there. He's got everything to lose.
Yeah.
You know, you can look at it two ways. You know, you can look at it. Some people will feed off saying, "Oh, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to overachieve." Or is he the guy that has to feel like the pressure's on him?
See, interesting.
And quick line too about Ben Davison, just quick, because I love that relationship.
Listen, Ben Davison has played a huge part in Anthony Joshua, in that self-belief. You know, he's meticulous in what he does with Joshua. And Joshua's an overthinker in many ways, and we know that. And sometimes
asking everybody, isn't he?
Absolutely. We know what Anthony Joshua is. So now Ben Davison, he goes through stuff meticulously. He goes through fights, breaks stuff down, where the feet are positioned, where the hands are, you know, the training regime, the sparring, you know, the activity with the fights, all of that in place. And like Shane says there, it's all about being that sort of father figure and, you know, and having that chemistry between boxer and trainer. Anthony Joshua has found it with Ben Davison. And Daniel Dubois has found it with Don Charles. Don Charles said to me, "I'm not working on physicalities here. Daniel's an athlete. You know, they've done that." He said, "I'm working on the psychological side." Anthony Joshua is the same. Anthony Joshua, at this stage of his career, at this age, he's the finished article. It's here. It's mental. It's all the psychological battle for both of these guys.
Sorry to interrupt you, Spence, but what they're doing clever in Ben Davison's gym is that they're not sparring him with killers. They realise that he has had that experience and he doesn't need to have the heavy spars. Now, you've got to gas him up.
Yeah.
You've got to give him this confidence. Whether it's false or not, you've still got to instill that confidence. Don't spar him with killers. Let him go in there, get his confidence up. Have the belief that if he throws a shot, it lands. If he's sparring guys that are slightly below him, he's going to land more shots. He's going to be knocking guys out in sparring. That's going to instill that killer belief back in him. And I think, you know,
so we're going to be debating this all the way up to the fight. Guys, last one.
Yeah,
go on.
But let me explain. He's had 2 false wins in the sense, like, Otto Wallin is not world class.
Just underneath.
And Ngannou was flattered by Tyson Fury, an out of shape Tyson Fury. The better wins is Filip Hrgović. So, you know,
Dubois comes in with that.
Listen, guys, I've got to tell you, the psychological games have already begun. Don Charles and Anthony Joshua go back a long way. Don Charles saying yesterday, actually, I know what's going on in the camp. I know how Anthony Joshua's ticking. He doesn't know what I've done with Daniel Dubois. This is all about mind games. Both guys are thinking fighters.
The brilliance of boxing, the brilliance of talk sport is we debate it all the way up till the first bell. So shut up for now, both of you, apart from one last thing. Who wins and how?
Your head and your heart, you'd probably have to say Anthony Joshua wins the fight, and I think that he wins it inside the distance. Not writing off Daniel Dubois because he's a dangerous guy.
Stop fence splintering.
I'm not fencing.
AJ knockout.
AJ.
Shane.
I have to go with the same. I think AJ within 4 or 5 rounds. But there is a massive but here. If he can weather the storm in the first 4 rounds, the fight is all Daniel Dubois down the stretch. I believe so, because it's a mindset. If he can overcome that, first 4 rounds, even if he gets dropped and gets up, the fight's his down the stretch.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Live betting's going to be a key.
It's all set up here. Thank you, guys. You've been fantastic on the bench with your minds and out there physically. Good. Have a little rest after that. I think those ribs might hurt a little bit for a while. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you to Shane. And don't forget to tune in to the TalkSport Network and the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel to keep you right across all of the action from Fight Week. And then, of course, listen to the fight live on TalkSport, Saturday, the 21st of September, the date for your diaries. You know that. This has been the preview. It's Joshua versus Dubois.